Ryan is also, you guys, that's y'all's job is to take care of the citizens. That's what y'all were elected for. And I think the way the hospital has grown has been great. I've seen it grow. And y'all have done a wonderful job on that. The only thing that, on the EMS part, the only thing we were asking is that that you considered us because we were already doing it. And even when I met with Brian a week after that meeting, I asked him, I said, "Hey, Brian, what happens to us?" "You know what, Mary, I can't answer that. I don't know."
That was a week after the August meeting when this all was beginning to.
You said, "I don't know, Mary, what's gonna happen to you guys. You're gonna have to, I don't know." And he goes, "I can't answer that because I don't know." And I still feel we're in the I don't know. And yes, you're right. We could sit here all night till midnight and beat this horse, and it's gonna move. But I just wanna clarify something. So when and if this goes to, it's gonna go to, an election, and it does not pass, are you guys gonna still continue with this, or are y'all gonna drop it?
Why is it all or nothing? If I may, just 1 second. It's not black and white. You just made a very good dissertation about the citizens and about the taxpayers and about good health care. And now it's like, if we don't get the money, it's all off the table. I mean, I don't understand that. You have other ESDs that are willing to work with you. I think this can go forward, just not with the amount of money that you're budgeting for.
I would say, and I think the board would agree, and we will have to discuss this further, but if the election, if the citizens decide to roll back, that's a mandate to us that we're going in the wrong direction. And we would consider it a mandate that we're going in the wrong direction, and we're gonna respect their vote, number one. Number two, I have not seen the ESD districts willing to work with us. And I could be wrong by that, but bring your proposals, bring your ideas. You come here tonight, quite honestly, to listen to our ideas and say, I'm not sure about that, and that may not work 30%. We agree, that's good input, but bring your ideas. I have not heard a single idea from any of the ESD districts about what they would want to happen.
But your very presentation here doesn't include anything from anybody else. This is all brand new dollars for brand new equipment.
No.
Right off the bat, they're being left out. They feel that.
No, it's not for brand new equipment.
Not for brand new equipment. If they've got ambulances for sale and we need them, we're perfectly willing to buy them from them as anybody else.
So then these numbers aren't right.
No,
No,
numbers
sir,
are correct.
at the bottom, you see the amount available for capital
Yeah,
investment.
I understand that, but I understand the total dollars, but what I'm saying is that, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I don't believe it's a mandate. It's a mandate that you're increasing the taxes beyond what your authority is.
Well, this board would consider it a mandate unless we can be, and I think, well, are we in agreement to that? If the tax rollback is defeated, or if it's rolled back, then we would consider us going in the wrong direction.
The way I look at it, we're willing to do it for 3 cents for 2 years and then 0. And I know everybody says, oh, an agency never does that. We've done it. And when I came on this board, this is a business. Why does it need tax support? Because there's indebtedness.
Why can't you do it for 1 cent for 3 years?
And because there's not enough to capitalize it. We'd have to dig into our budget, into our fund balance to upfront that money, and we can't do that because we have other things that are already on the planning board for the next 4 years through 2020. We don't have the money to do that. For us to do this, we have got to have money coming in just to capitalize it. It's not to operate, it's just to capitalize. But we are offering to run this for 3 cents for 2 years and then 0 beyond that. And this budget shows that. The budget goes to show what it does for the emergency room, what it does for the hospital, and the whole enterprise, how it comes out. But and in my opinion, this is my opinion, we're willing to do it for 3 cents for 2 years and then 0. And if that's unacceptable to the taxpayers, somebody else is going to have to pick this thing up. And it might very well be what we have now. And 3 will continue to tax at 9 or 10 cents, or there'll be an ESD, a countywide ESD, And everybody will pay taxes and more taxes and more taxes and more taxes because the history shows that that has not worked. The ESDs cannot operate in the same manner with regards to the benefit of the taxpayers that we're proposing to operate. A countywide ESD has got what funding? Zero. They're going to tax to get their funding. Just to get started, we've got $22 million in assets behind us, and we're willing to lay that all on the line after 2 years, after we get the money to capitalize the system. We're going to put that balance sheet, that strength on the line to back this system going forward, and there won't be any more tax requirements from the people. The alternative, as a taxpayer, scares me to death because it's going to be tax, 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 because they start with $0 in capital. And they will never get out of the hole. Never, they never will, they never do. Yes, Paul?
I'd like to make one comment because I think you mentioned about the ESD, if they have to carry it on a year, or gonna be double taxed. Okay, I wanna make a comment as a commissioner. I don't think the county should begin ESD money like we do. To me, that's double taxation, because they're already being taxed. That is one reason I think this needs to go forward. We have one entity running the whole thing. I mean, I was told, well, why are we giving ESDs money? We give the fire department, ESD, fire and EMS money. Why do they start off with 9 cents? They're asking 3 cents to do the whole county. They're doing 9 cents for 1.25 of the county. Stop and think about that.
So you're not getting an argument about that. You're not getting an argument that a countywide EMS is a good idea.
But if we get an argument, they want to charge 3 cents for countywide.
It's not that. It's not.
That's the way I hear it.
It's not the money. It's not the money.
And why is there a rollback petition?
It's a rollback to slow this process down and have it done correctly. That's what's not, that's the whole purpose.
Ma'am, it can never be done correctly without the proper money. We talked about that. We talked about the 8%. It cannot be done properly if you starve it for capital from the very beginning. If we don't have any money to start with, it will be a dismal failure. And wait.
I can do it.
I tell you, the way we deliberated on this, you do the 8% increase, and you do not have enough capital to get it started, and it is a dismal failure, and you can't afford to pay your people, you have to starve it to death, and who is sacrificing? Who's at risk? The patients, the citizens. We did not want to do that. We wanted to capitalize it adequately from the very beginning so that we could deliver, and it's not a joke, the best EMS in the state. I mean, that is the goal with our hospital in the top quarter.
Yes.
We're moving higher all the time. So we want to make sure that we're able to do it. But I hate to keep repeating myself, but 3 cents for 2 years and then 0 going forward versus if there's a countywide ESD, we're all going to pay and pay and pay and pay and pay because there's no capital to start with. You start a business with no capital and good luck.
The cart before the horse thing, though, you don't start a business until you have the proper due diligence and the documents to hand your bank and say, put your faith in me.
We have done that.
Not before you raise the tax. If y'all done that, because it's not the money, I'm telling you, it's not the money. I mean, it may
But
be.
then how did all the ESDs get started? They didn't have a plan.
I don't know that, I wasn't here then, I keep asking.
I have
that.
not seen
But-
one plan from any ESD.
But we had, I don't know, I was not there. It was in process when I came to work there, when I came on the board. I have no idea, but.
We had an election,
But
just
there are
like this.
policies and procedures in place when it started. This is a whole new thing. I know that one of the endeavors, I think their service in Dallas area, they're paying 35 cents right now. So you can't tell me that this hospital, that it might not go up. I mean, that's no guarantee. So we're only asking for.
That's not fair.
You
Can't
can't
say that.
say that.
I'm sorry, and I'm not
Apples to
comparing.
apples.
Right, I'm not comparing it. I'm just saying they go up.
No. This,
So
the
you're
tax rate
guaranteeing
has
us they
gone
won't go
down
up.
here.
I know,
You
it
can't
has,
deny that, that's a
Right.
fact.
that's the
Nobody
hospital,
objected to that.
but that's the hospital, not.
Nobody even noticed
Nobody-
that we took the
No,
tax
we
rate.
do, and we appreciate it, but that's. the hospital.
Really? And y'all all came to the meetings and told us how much you appreciated us
That's
for
the
blowing back.
hospital, that is not an EMS service. That's the hospital, this is.
Well, I'm sorry.
Anyway, I'm repeating myself too, but
No,
I
it's
just.
just,
was
when
saying.
we were at 14 cents, when we started lowering it,
Nobody's,
no,
we
wait, wait.
appreciate that.
I just have to tell
I
you
understand.
that I was one of the voices on the board at one time and said, be careful, because if no one is going to notice that we've lowered their tax rate. No one is gonna say boo about it, and nobody did. But if we
Tonight we
ever
did.
have to have it go up, you watch them come in here. Here we are.
Tonight
So
we
we could have left it at
appreciate
14, and then we'd have tons of money.
Of your money.
Of your money that was just sitting there. But we decided we would do this correctly and give money back that we didn't need because we hired a group that came in here that did a great job, that made us profitable.
The hospital. and
The
that's
hospital,
wonderful. And-
that's
and
right.
We praise, several of us have.
Well, I'm
praised
just,
that
you know,
sincerely.
and so we reduced the tax rate. And we, you know, our goal has always been to reduce the burden out there on the folks, you know. But in this case, for us to do this without sacrificing the rest of our plan, which is getting new doctors in here, because there are not enough doctors per capita in Wilson County. There's still a lot of people that have to that are going to San Antonio for primary care physicians because the ones here are pretty full. So we're trying to get that number better to where, I mean, there are studies and things you do that you need this many doctors per a certain population. You know, and we feel like the taxpayers of Wilson County are paying us for medical care to provide that, so we're trying to provide that. Now, we could stop that plan and do this.
Let me ask
Go
you this, are
ahead,
you?
David, so has the floor.
Okay.
One of the things that I'd like to say, from the first, when we started going over these plans, and we're talking about the plans and how the plans are going to come together, and it starts from February of this year. The plan may go all the way to October of 2017 or beyond, which is a year and a half, better than a year and a half, of planning to get it to where it can start off. And one of the first things that I heard from our board and our leaders was, our leaders have done this before, is that correct? Our leaders have done this exact thing before, am I wrong?
We oversee them. We
We've
haven't started-
overseen this exact the same thing.
We manage.
As Endeavor, as the same scenario we have here. So the leaders that we have done, that led this hospital, have also done this in another place, that are leading us and that are leading this. It is one of the things that led me to believe that the planning we were doing, and the information we were getting was on the right track, and that we could get it done, and we can get it done in the timely fashion. And I don't think a year and a half is an untimely fashion, because we don't have all the plan. I think the citizens of Wilson County would be skeptical of us if we had all the plan, everything done right now. We're still gonna say, we're not gonna start until October of 2017. We got it all done, it's right there. We're not gonna start until 2017. I think that's kind of crazy to even think that's, it's not a planning process. But you have a little bit that you do, and you have a little bit more that you do, and you have a little bit more, and it keeps building on itself. And what I hear is that y'all don't have 100% what you're gonna do, so it's gonna fail, and we're out of the loop. I don't see that that's a fair concept.
But I completely agree with that. Let's plan it out. Let's take that 8% over 3 years, instead of all doing it all in 1 year. That's the argument.
The members of this board think 19 months is plenty time.
But
Because
you're
the
asking
leaders
for
who
money
have
up
done
front.
it say that's plenty of time.
But you're asking for the money up front.
But if we did it 8% 3 times, that would be asking for the money up front also.
But you wouldn't implement for the time
No,
of
we
3
would just
years.
be asking for the money up front, not do anything with it until we were ready to. I mean, you're saying that this is bad because we're asking for the money up front a year in advance, but it's okay to ask it for 3 or 4 years in advance?
You're within your right to do that.
Can I ask?
Well, yes, we are, but see, here's what we wanted to do. We wanted to come out and say, this is what we think we need to do. We're gonna put this out here. because we believed that it was the right thing, and we very well knew. And one of our former board members warned us that we might have a rollback election, and was very vocal about it, and resigned from the board, and I think you all know who he is. And that's fine, he had his opinion, the rest of us all voted
Who also
for it.
voted to go forward with the EMS service.
Yeah, he actually voted to go forward with it, but he didn't vote.
Same meeting.
Okay, but anyway, I mean, we felt like this was the right thing to do, and we were willing to put ourselves out there and risk a rollback election because we felt strongly enough about it. You know, I mean, and the citizens have spoken, they want a rollback election, we're gonna do that. You know, if it gets rolled back, we refund the money, and we continue with how we operate the hospital. I mean, you know, if it passes, then we'll continue with our plan. You know, I don't know what else there is to say at this point. Obviously, you know, no matter what we do, we're not gonna make everybody happy. We actually, you know, do wanna have dialogue with the ESDs, we wanna talk to them about their ambulances. Obviously, we don't wanna buy a 15-year-old ambulance. Maybe a 2-year-old ambulance would be of interest, or 3, something like that. But, you know, we don't wanna buy, you know, it's gotta meet our standards for whatever it is. Where the stations are, you know, we'll have those conversations. We're not at that point yet, but we will be getting to that point soon. It's a process that we're gonna go through. And like I said before, if we get to, I mean, October 1st, 2017 is the date that we've selected. If we get to, you know, August 1st and we look at it and go, there's no way, we're not ready, then we're gonna push that date. I mean, we're not gonna do this unless we can do it very, very well. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. We will not implement unless we're ready to implement. We will not do this unless we can do it well. And that's really, you know, that's, I mean, that's our point of view. What, you know, we want to offer the services.
We've already had the vote. Can you bring us the petitions?
Who wants to?
Do we need to, in the minutes, know who?
I'm sure she'll talk.
Okay, just need to know who was presenting.
And I think you established a quorum of the board
Yes.
at the beginning of the meeting.
We did.
No, she's gonna get one. She's gonna ask.
Just as a point of clarification, we'll find this out as we go, but how many signatures are you presenting?
It says 3,800.
Right at 3,800. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next order, do we have anything for executive session?
We do.
Okay. Okay. All right, the next order of business is executive session on deliberation of on property and deliberation with attorneys, which is it?
Property.
Property. Okay. Wilson County Memorial Hospital District Board of Directors will announce when it will go into executive session if necessary regarding any agenda items and pursuant to Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, 551073, 551074, 551075, 551085, 161032, to deliberate on or receive advice from or consult with legal counsel on pending or threatened litigation or settlement offer, to deliberate regarding property, to deliberate about gifts or donations, to discuss personnel matters, to discuss security devices or matters, and or discuss information for a new service or product line or pricing of or financial planning information relating to a bid or negotiation for the same. So we will go into executive session to discuss a property matter. Correct? Correct. Okay.